All right, it's time for us to look at our first paper, and we're starting this time in Nigeria, looking at the Daily Trust paper. On the front page of Daily Trust, Lull in Ministries as Buhari yet to replace Amaechi, Onu others. After defeated primaries, ex-ministers lobby to return. Rivers, Ondo, Imo, 3 others not represented in cabinet. President unreasonably slow, says Don's presidency mom. I'm interested in seeing how this story turns out on Saturday because, of course, the president did give them an ultimatum to step down from office if they wanted to run for presidency. Now they've lost at the primaries and they want to come back into their offices. And we know that there's a whole process. We know how long it even took the president to announce this cabinet. So I'm wondering how this will turn out eventually.
I'm not sure what they were imagining, would happen.
Well, that's on page 5. The details of the story are there, and we definitely are going to be following up with this. We can see the photos here of Rotimi Amaechi, Godswill Akpabio, Ogbonnaya Onu, Tayo Alasodura, Uche Oga, Chukwuemeka Nwajuba. These are the ministers who stepped down and they're trying to return to office. We'll be following up with the story. Max Exodus looms as Orubebe Afegboa dump PDP. It's been a while I heard about Orubebe. That's interesting. On page 25, the details are there. Bandits attack intending pilgrims in Sokoto, sad one, on page 4. And we have here on page 21, passengers groan over skeletal operation of Kaduna Airport. Did you see the videos of the airport in Nigeria as well? That passengers, I think it was Dami Elebe, who shared tweets bemoaning the state of the airport, talking about the fact that the airports were leaking.
Yeah, I think it happened in the Lagos airport, and then there were just 2 airport videos that made social media interactions in the last 72 hours. One of them was the leaking roof at the airport. The other one was passengers airport workers on strike, and so they seized passenger luggage. It feels like it's never-ending drama. Nigeria can make a real good sitcom.
And it's really very unfortunate because the first person you see, or the first impression you have about a country, is the impression that they create when you go into the airport. The airport is like the first impression that a country makes for travelers, and that's the unfortunate first impression that foreigners will see about Nigeria. Now, moving on from that story, on page 4, train attack. Some captives bitten by snakes. What? Says a negotiator. Wow. Whilst we are dealing with kidnapping, we're also dealing with snake bites of the victims. So not only are they suffering being kidnapped, they're suffering being bitten by snakes. Just like you say, never-ending drama. Conduct NFF elections, Buhari orders Pinnick, on page 31. And on page 3, shelves secession agitations. Yoruba Council tells Igboho and Kanu. Final stories here. Of course, we know that the Daily Trust never fails with the countdown. So now it's 352 days that the school children of Bethel Baptist High School, Kujama, have been in captivity. And daily we pray for their return. We join their family members to pray for their return. That's all I can take on the Daily Trust. We'll move over to our next paper.
Yeah, just a quick reminder, that this, story, just like you've mentioned it now, it really isn't making national conversations. It's not making headlines. It feels like, how are people, in captivity for almost a year?
Yeah, it's 352 days. Yeah. In a little over 10 days, it will be 365.
Exactly. So, and nobody is talking about it. The government isn't talking about it. The state government isn't talking about it. The country in general has moved on, from these persons. It almost feels like whenever you come back, you come back. And if you don't, it's not the first time it's happened. Chibok girls still in captivity, Dapchi, same thing. So, well, let's move to Uganda and see what we can find there. On the Daily Monitor this morning, M23 rebels ordered out of captured town. That's a big story you can find on the Daily Monitor. Ceasefire, the third East African Community Heads of States conclave on the peace and security situation in the DR Congo, directed an immediate cessation of hostilities in Bunagana town that fell to the M23 rebels last week. And the story is on page 5. Also on the Daily Monitor, government projects hit by costly delays. And also Mpulga rallies behind Dr. Bisiye on protest. Health to cut price of sickle cell by half. Okay.
Nice.
We spoke about that yesterday.
Yeah.
And also on the Daily Monitor, 2 more stories. Tenders, deals at Kiangulanyi Coffee Limited. You can find more on that story on the Daily Monitor this Tuesday morning. And also Rainbow, Obore is Mr. Toto Africa 2022-2023. Congratulations to him. Those are the ones on the Daily Monitor this morning.
All right, let's bring it back to Nigeria with First News. On the front page of First News, we have over 3,478 Nigerians killed, 2,256 abducted in 7 months under Buhari. And this is said by a report. Details are in First News. You know, yesterday I was watching Taken. I'm probably late to the party, but Taken is this Hollywood movie. I watched Taken 1 and Taken 2. And the storyline is about a father whose daughter was kidnapped and taken into what's it called, trafficking. And I felt the pain. So it was almost like the movie took me through the pain of what it meant to lose a child and not know the whereabouts of your child, which is what is happening to these people who are held in captivity. It's just a very, very sad one. Ekiti governorship election, APC didn't buy votes, says Oyebanji. He says that they leveraged on Fayemi's achievement. Can Tinubu learn from Abiola's mistake? All right. Still talking about the influence of, we've been talking about religion and politics. Courts restraints INEC from ending voter registration June 30. Interesting one will be, I think this is some good news, Osauki. What do you think? So would have more time for voters to register.
Yes, I'm also starting to see, bits of controversy with regards the voter numbers in certain states, and how it is almost, impossible that these numbers have risen so fast in so little time, and why it's not the same thing in other states that are seemingly, peaceful, as Borno having so, such a quick voter registration, numbers compared to other states that don't seem to have any crisis and all of that. And, these conversations will continue. I've also seen David Hundeyin, make his statements concerning, something that he's not very comfortable, about, some things that, are pretty much glaring with regards to voter registration and how it is, one of the first signs of electoral fraud. But, these are ongoing conversations.
Absolutely. Of course, we took the Kaduna story. First News has it again as well. Snakes have bitten some abducted victims, says negotiator. Gunmen demand 100 naira ransom for kidnapped. This cannot be 100 naira. It should be 100 million naira. There's no way that gunmen will ask for 100 naira. So it should, I think that it will be 100 million naira ransom for kidnapped Kaduna worshippers. I don't know. But yeah, that's what the story says there. Mother reveals how Osinachi's husband vowed to kill late singer. Why? Eto'o pleads guilty to tax fraud during days in Barcelona to avoid prison. That's in the world of sports. Corpses of drowned corps members, septuagenarian, found on Bayelsa River. Wow, sad. Police uncover how criminals use online platforms to defraud businessmen and women. Now, still on the front page, 3 more stories here. Placeholder, running mates, parties risk crisis as INEC disowns concept, says it's unknown to electoral laws. And also 2023, Orubebe dumps PDP, says party unprepared to return to power. And now this story here, police to Portable, report yourself immediately or risk arrest. In his own words, I would end it by saying, Otuntize. He has been zed by the Nigerian police, and we'll be taking the details of this when Liz joins us for training.
It feels like it's on self-destruct, and I tweeted it yesterday that no matter how much money you give, a person, you can't change who they are. You would only elevate, the person that they are, but you would never change.
I mean, how do you record a video ordering your people to beat a boy and then post it on social media?
In the heat of the moment, I don't know if they posted it themselves, or someone
I'm just glad that it was caught on camera.
Yeah, well,
like we said, it has zed for him.
Yeah, anyway. All right, let's move to South Africa now and see what we can find on the Sowetan this morning. Blue lights terror, and there's a similar story you can find, in other countries across Africa. Even the cops are robbing us. Crime intelligence officers and traffic police among groups in the dark after allegedly demanding 300,000 rand from a businessman to make murder charge go away. Chiefs box in buying spree, of course, and that's in sports. And we can also find here Tessa dooms high time the people truly govern 2024. High time the people truly govern, I beg your pardon. 2024, a good place to start. That's on page 15 of the Sowetan this morning. A men's conference for real. You can also find that. And also sad birthday for missing Kaya. And top of the Sowetan this morning, Maya shoo-in for Zondo's deputy. Lord help me.